Welcome to HANRATTY'S Huddle with your host, Terry Hanratty. I'm Dave Romeo, and for those of you who are watching us for the first time, yes, this is what we look like. This is Terry, I'm Dave.
Well,
Terry?
everybody's watching us for the first time.
Well, yeah, we're
For
also
those of you who have heard us for the first time, now you're gonna be able to see us. Oh, it's scary.
possibly, yeah, we're also gonna have this still on audio on Spotify. So we'll have two ways of consuming our new, well, not new, but HANRATTY'S Huddle, which is, we're growing this podcast, and this is another step forward for us. So we'll have this posted on YouTube, on a YouTube channel. Eventually, we'll probably just start our own channel, but that's an announcement to become later because we are working on something that we feel is very significant and very big.
There's a lot of good things in the pipeline and they're gonna be fun. And I think everybody's gonna enjoy them. So it's gonna be something I'm really looking forward to.
Right. And for those of you who are surprised that Terry's wearing Notre Dame paraphernalia, all I can say is
Up and
get used to
down.
it. Get used to it. All right. So
Yeah, it's the only thing I own. It's funny because I was in Pittsburgh, well, I've been there a lot of times, but a couple of years ago, I was talking to the owner, Art Rooney, right now. And he says, how come you're always wearing Notre Dame stuff? I said, because it's free. Giving him a little shot, saying, I never got the package in the mail with all the Steelers stuff on it, so it's good.
well, the funniest story you told a couple weeks ago, which was hilarious when you were in Paris and the guy came running up to you about, hey, where'd you get that hat and that Notre Dame?
We had just come from seeing the church Notre Dame, and the guy's in there going, whoa. And I had this Notre Dame shirt on, and he thought it was Notre Dame.
Notre
And,
Dame, yeah.
so I said, we got a much better football team.
Yeah. Very true. All right, and that game is coming up very soon, boy, a couple weeks away from the opener of Notre Dame and Texas A&M in Texas A&M on a Saturday night. Should be a lot of fun. It can be hot down there. Big test for the Irish.
I'm very concerned.
Okay.
First of all, Texas A&M's a quality, very good team, number one. And once you're playing on the road, you're playing in Texas that early, it's going to be 110 degrees. Luckily, it's at night, so probably only 105.
Mm-hmm.
So one good thing what Marcus Freeman has done at Notre Dame, he's built a lot of depth.
Okay.
And that's a major factor here because you're going to have to be rolling guys in on offense and defense to give a guy a break because it's going to be really warm.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be fine there. We lost our best offensive lineman for the season already.
Jeez.
And so that's going to hurt. We have a very, very young offensive line. I mean, these kids, I think the sophomore may be the oldest. We have red shirt here, red shirt there.
Yep.
And it's just, very young.
Yep.
So hopefully if they can mesh.
Yep.
I think our running backs are wonderful. I think our receivers are wonderful. We got a bevy of tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the, quarterback, Riley Leonard. And from Duke, who's gonna play his first year in Notre Dame this year, his last year, I should say. And I think that's gonna be really good, but again, you gotta get over a big opponent early. And these kids it's gonna be on the road, it's gonna be very hostile.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be a lot on Marcus Freeman, how to get these kids ready for a big game on the road.
Gotcha. Very interesting. Well, it's always great to see the football season starting in earnest and it started. I mean, we have games we have games tonight. We have I think the Patriots play tonight.
Oh, your favorite team, those Patriots.
Yeah, I gotta admit they can't lose enough for me. But that's a little petty on my part. But whatever.
Well, that's being a true fan. You cannot be a Jet fan and root for the Patriots. Nor can you be a Patriot fan and root for the Jets.
I would be like a Red Sox fan saying, the Red Sox stink, but I'll root for the Yankees. You can't do it.
This week, we'll pull for those Yankees. Look at that 300th home run to Judge.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you wanted to discuss that. Let's talk about the Judge home run.
Jump around here, but
yeah.
I actually thought last year,
yeah,
the Yankees were in need of a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe the best thing they could do is trade Judge. I mean, he's going to hit 50, 60 home runs every year, but where's that really going to get you?
Yeah.
I mean, you're better off with a bunch of players that are really good rather than one great player. But, it turned out I would have been a terrible GM had I done that.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, he's the fastest guy to 300 home runs.
Yeah, which is
He beat
amazing.
Babe Ruth by 400
Yeah.
at bats. I mean, that is something.
It really is something. And he did hit free agency and was offered a lot of money by both the Padres and the Giants. but chose to come back to the Yankees. So I think the loyalty factor, now he's a factor. Now he's the team captain. Now here's the thing, and I'm not a Yankee fan, I'm a Met fan, but I'm not one of those Met fans that says, oh, the Yankee can't. I respect the hell out of the Yankees. But now with Juan Soto, and he's coming up on a free agent year, and they're gonna, I mean, how much money they're paying Stanton, they're paying Judge, they're paying the pitcher Cole. I mean, can they afford Juan Soto too? Because he's gonna, the way he's playing, he's gonna want to be the highest paid player in the game.
He also, normally when you get traded or signed to the free agent, you have a tendency to sort of have a little down year because getting a new environment and what, all the good stuff.
Yeah,
But Soto is having a heck of a year.
Sure
And
is.
I think, they gotta keep, you gotta keep, the two of them
mhm,
and Cole. I mean, those are the three guys that's the nucleus of your roster. I mean, those are the people that I would consider untouchable.
I would agree with that. It's gonna be very interesting. It'll be very interesting. We'll see what happens. I think the Yankees wanna see if they get a World Series win under their belt and then deal with those decisions. But it's gonna be an interesting playoff. I think you have some teams, that have struggled a little bit, including the Yankees a little bit, and then the Phillies are now struggling. So we'll see what happens. The playoffs are gonna be fun though. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a great October, hopefully around here with football and baseball. So, but we have to wrap up the Olympics. The 2 weeks of the Olympics went really fast. They always do. That's okay. Always go fast, but we had the closing ceremonies, which I think were okay. A big commercial for NBC and a big commercial for Snoop Dogg, but at the end of the day, I thought the games were very entertaining and very obviously good for us. We had 40 goals. China had 40 goals, but we out medaled them by about 30, I think. So,
And being the loyal person I am, Notre Dame had 10 gold, 10 medals.
and
10
the
medals.
cup,
I think it was 6 gold and 10 total medals, or
Okay.
4 and 6 the opposite.
and the college that had the most medals, the college,
No,
Stanford.
I can believe that. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
so
always
the
win that,
swimming
with that
and
president
gymnastics,
clubs
yeah.
or the Sears
have a
thing,
lot
they
of
have
them.
the team that has the best all around or athletic.
A lot of emphasis on Olympic sports there. So yeah, so
Yeah, they
Stanford,
do a
I
lot of
think-
swimming, a lot of
Yeah,
diving with
diving
Notre Dame,
and the
Notre Dame
gymnastics.
actually had one diver.
Mhm,
I don't think he won anything, but they had a swimmer
yep.
that picked up 2 medals. He
Yeah.
was on that relay team. So
Now I'm gonna tell you a story before we get into your thing about the track. I'm I watch Hard Knocks, which is now with the Chicago Bears in preseason, and the safety, who's a pretty good player by the way, the safety for the Bears, is married to Simone Biles.
Right.
And he went to Paris. They came back, and this week they were talking about his trip, and he was telling so how great it was to be there to support his wife, 3 gold medals, blah blah blah. And at some point, one of the players said to him, they were standing in the field, and he goes, "Did you ever do anything like physically to compete with her?" And he goes, "Yeah, one time we did a rope climbing contest." They actually have video of it, and they watched them both go up the rope. And I mean, she tortures him. I mean, this guy's a great athlete,
Oh.
and he's going up the rope, and she just now, and he says to the guy, he says, "I'm going up the rope," and I look over, and she's got her legs at a 90-degree angle. She's just going up that rope.
Yeah.
It's so.
Well, it's all upper body. The rope is
Right.
all upper body
Right,
strength.
she just.
I mean, you get a safety who's got big,
Yeah.
thick
thighs,
legs that are
like she's got more weight.
that are
so,
built for speed
Yeah.
and contact.
yeah, but it was.
And that could be great. But because it used to be an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
The rope climbing.
yeah.
I know we had that in high school. My high school was a great gymnastics team.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a little trivia for the Neeson Award. You ever hear of it?
Only from you.
Okay, that's the number one. The number one is the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy of gymnastics.
Okay.
And the first recipient, a guy named Jim Kersey,
Mhm.
from Butler High School, Butler, Pennsylvania, where yours truly, when Jim and I were friends. And he was one of the guys when they were recruiting me for Michigan State. Jim was there. So he'd bring over, he'd come over for lunches and whatnot and try to, push me to come to Michigan State. But we had a great for many, many years,
Mhm.
gymnastics team. And one of the events was the rope climb.
Mhm.
And every guy that did it was really thin legs
Oh, okay.
and really big upper body.
Right.
And they sat on the ground, and they
Mhm.
put their hands up, and all of a sudden, whatever, the whistle, whatever, bump, 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 they start going up,
Bump.
or 20 feet up in the air.
Yeah,
But if you get a football player or basketball, they're not doing anything on that thing.
that's true. That's very true, because if you think about those, like the rings, remember those rings, they used
Yeah.
to pull themselves up, and And it's just amazing stuff. So, okay, well, you had a little problem with our track and field team.
Oh, the track and field team had a little problem,
Okay.
and I just don't understand it.
Yeah,
I mean, they cannot pass the baton. I mean, the women were not good.
Yeah.
And then the 4x100, that's where it's all the exchange of the baton,
yeah,
because these guys are all fast, these girls are all fast,
yeah,
that they have to have that smooth exchange.
yeah.
And the women, luckily, they were fast enough to outrun
Overcome it. Yeah,
their opponents.
yeah,
The men, I mean, they never got out of the box. There's a small box there, not a small,
right,
but
right.
where you have to exchange the baton.
Yeah,
If you go beyond that, it's illegal, you're
Right.
DQ'd.
right.
And we were DQ'd. In fact, they never even really passed it. I mean, it was the
Jeez.
worst thing. And then it happens every Olympics.
Does seem to happen every Olympics.
And
you're right.
it's crazy. I want to know who's the coach for the Olympic track team for
Yeah.
baton exchange.
Well, that's the thing. It seems to me like they're probably more focused on their individual races, and maybe they're just not practicing.
Well, that's the key.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have a team.
Yeah,
You got to have about 6 guys
Yeah.
that are interchangeable in case one gets hurt, because the kid who ran the
mhm,
100, he came up with COVID.
mhm,
And so he had to drop out of the relay. So they put someone else in, and I don't think it was him that did it, but the exchange was the kid who ran the 110-meter hurdles.
okay,
That was the bad exchange. I mean, that was just ridiculous. A high school could pass the baton better.
yeah, you're
And
probably
I
right.
did it in high school, and we never had an exchange problem.
Yeah,
We weren't going that fast,
mhm.
but then we were going really as fast as we possibly
Yeah.
could go.
What a shame. What a shame.
But it's something, because we were the fastest team.
Yeah,
That was almost a guaranteed gold medal
yeah.
if we just exchanged the baton.
Just exchange the
And
baton,
that's it.
and we would have won the medal count. Or the
Won
gold medal count.
the medal count.
So, all right, well, that's something, listen, we can sit here, but your overall thoughts about the Olympics?
I thought they were, except for the opening of the Olympics,
Okay.
were a little
Several,
problem there.
Yeah,
We won't get
little
into
bit,
that.
Right,
But other than that, I think France can really take a bow.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job of putting on a wonderful, wonderful Olympics. I mean, there's always gonna be, I'm a track man, so I'd rather see more track.
okay,
Some people are swimming, they want to see more swim. But when you sort of mesh all that stuff together, it's just a wonderful experience, I think, for everybody. And the closing ceremony, where is Snoop Dogg now?
well, Tom Cruise, jumping into
Wait a
the
minute, Snoop had the biggest part in the whole damn
Oh my
Olympics.
God, yeah, Snoop, boy, NBC just made it a big.
Every time
commercial.
you look at someone's mother in the stand, Snoop's sitting right beside him.
I think, yeah, right, I
But,
think,
you know,
I think we all know
NBC
the NBC commercial by now, the NBC
Yeah.
shows. Listen, listen, they have to take advantage of it, they're spending a lot of money, for that, yeah.
And they are, at one point they interviewed 2 ladies from Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, well, they're wonderful. And then they had the Snoop Dogg. And I mean, he was everywhere. But now he's gonna do a show equivalent to Americans Got Talent.
yeah,
And he's gonna step in with Reba McEntire and do that kind of show for NBC, whatever that's called there.
Huh.
So they wanna promote that. You can, everybody does that, a little
Yeah,
cross
they have to do
pollination, yeah.
I will say this about your point about watching more track and stuff. And in our in my other home in Stonington, we have Comcast, and then with the Comcast you have the Peacock.
Yeah, we Peacock.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
so but you
Peacock.
could pick, and the Peacock had the different channels. Like you could go to the Olympic thing and just pick like the track channel or the swimming channel,
Right.
which is I like that a lot. So I mean, if they're going to put that kind of money into it, you did have a lot of options. So you could consume the Olympics in a lot of different ways, other than watching just straight channel 4 or channel whatever it is in your area, NBC feeds.
I don't like to watch it during the daytime, because I like to watch it at night on
Right.
replay.
When you have that
So
type
I
of
don't
time.
know who
yeah.
won this or
Right.
how high they jumped,
Yeah, I got you.
but and just throwing the javelin, you only saw a couple throws.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and I was a high jumper, I did the javelin, I did decathlon, so I did all these sports under my little umbrella. And when they throw the shot or throw the discus or throw the javelin, give it in meters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Me.
I don't need to have a calculator to figure out how
It
many.
didn't quite take here in the States, folks.
How many feet? I mean, we're watching it, and I don't want to be a bad American, but we're watching it here. So there should be some calculation going on. Okay, he threw it 90 meters, which is X amount of feet. Tell me that. I don't want, I want to enjoy that. I don't have, okay, oh, but the computer doing this, trying to decipher, because I'd never figured it out. But I mean, even in high jump, I mean, you know, I high jump 6'3".
Yeah,
You know, I did the Western
pretty good.
roll back then, where, you know,
Yeah.
now they all do the Fosbury flop.
yeah, okay.
And, you know, we used to fall into sawdust.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a high school coach, and I used to rake the sawdust to try to get a little fluff to it. So when you're coming down after 6 feet, you know, that's a pretty good jolt to your body.
Yeah.
Well, the coach forgot to take the rake out.
Oops.
I landed on that once. That was not fun.
This is one of those folks, I walked to school both ways in this uphill in the snow. But,
And there'll be many more of those, believe me.
but getting back to the metric system, you know, I'm a little younger than you, not much, but a little younger. And I can remember as a kid, you know, I mean, I'm terrible at math. Like math was just like, I couldn't stand doing it and learning it. And then I broke into a cold sweat when they said, we're gonna have to learn the metric system. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So very good. All right. So we have some NFL games. We have some NFL news. We have some injuries. And already JJ McCarthy, the Michigan stud quarterback with the Vikings, out for the year.
And they really expected him to start this year. Now
I
Sam
think he was
Darnold,
gonna start, yeah.
who I said the Jets should have kept him a long time ago
Yeah.
and just ruined him and put a team around him, but now we'll see what he does with Minnesota.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm gonna pat myself on the back here also. When I've been preaching now that all these kids need contact, they need to play in the preseason. Now everybody's going back saying, hey, we're gonna play in 1 quarter, we're gonna play in 2 quarters, maybe at the end we'll play them a little longer than that.
Yeah.
Your body cannot just, it's not a light switch where you can switch it on and off.
Yeah.
You've got to have a little contact here, and just to get used to that stuff,
Yeah.
rather than having a big shot, a big jolt to the body. That's when the injuries happen.
Yes, yeah, it's a shame. I feel bad for the kid, but it happens. Listen, it happens. So, did you see where Bo Nix led 4 TD drives for Denver?
Yeah, and we promoted a lot of Bo Nix.
Well,
Both of us really liked him. And everybody had him as the 6th best quarterback
Yeah, yeah.
coming out. And no, so it's gonna be really interesting, because I think some of these kids are gonna get a lot of playing time. And I think we'll see how it goes, but
Yeah. What do you think of the Hassan Reddick holdout with the Jets? Are you up to speed on that? I mean, is it this guy, just a little briefer for our audience, the Jets traded for him and he's a great player, great defensive end, you know, a guy who gets a lot of sacks and a lot of QB pressures. And the Jets decided not to renew one of their guys, Huff, who the Eagles signed. And they traded for Reddick, and Reddick, you know, because the Eagles knew he was unhappy with his contract. Well, he said, now there's 2 sides to every story, but the Jets are saying, listen, we told him, you know, he would come to camp, you know, come to do all the stuff, and we'll work on the contract and moving forward. Now they have him for 2 years, and so here's the problem. He didn't come to any OTAs, he didn't come to any camp, and he's not in camp, and he wants a new contract, and now he wants to be traded. And the Jets are saying,
does that surprise you?
no, it doesn't surprise me.
No, you gotta take a man for his word. You made the trade because he had 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Let's see how
Yeah.
things go.
Yeah,
You can't expect, I mean, I see a lot of guys on the television, the younger gurus.
yeah,
Start saying, well, they knew they had to, you know, extend the contract or rip up the contract, give him a new contract.
yeah,
No, you don't know that.
Yeah.
You had a sort of a verbal agreement saying, listen, you know, you're gonna be an intricate part of our defense. And obviously, you're gonna have to get paid if you're an intricate part of our defense.
yeah,
We just wanna, you know, slow pace this thing. And he agreed to that, or he would have, you know, held up to begin with.
yeah.
So, you know, I think the Jets are in right. I think he's got to get to camp and prove. Now, here's another problem. You see so many of these guys who hold out,
Yeah,
who have no contact.
yeah,
Then they come to camp and they try to overdo things and do
Yeah.
too much. That's when injuries happen. I
That's
hope
right.
no it happened, but I've been around for 100 years
yeah,
and I just see it happen all the time.
I got you.
You really got to keep that mow going a little bit in the off season, then it builds, then you're ready for the season.
Yeah,
And just, you can't, like I said, it's not a light switch.
It's not, and it's just such a, precarious thing, your body, the bodies of these guys, yes, they are phenomenal athletes and they're in wonderful shape, but it is a very physical game, very demanding game, and all of a sudden you jump in and decide to go from 0 to 100, and that's when things happen, so I'm hoping for the best for that. I think he would help the team, but at the same time, I don't really blame the Jets for just saying, we got you for 2 years, dude.
Yeah,
And by the way, his fines are already up to about $2.5 million.
yeah.
So-
Well, the thing is that no one ever holds those people those fines.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
So it's what penalty?
Yeah, so they probably know that.
It's when you
right?
keep on the red line, keep
Yeah.
moving that red line.
Yeah,
We've heard that one.
yeah. So you had a little excitement today. I don't know if you want to share it, but I'm sure it was very difficult. I mean, going through that because that's.
It was, right in front of my house, I heard a weird noise. I knew it wasn't two cars colliding.
Yeah.
And I went out, so I was on my patio in the back there. And I walked out and I saw a woman there on the phone. And all of a sudden I look on the street and there's this older guy laying on the street, blood gushing out of his mouth. And obviously an accident in the middle of the road, because it's a terrible intersection.
Yeah,
They've
it's
got
a
to
tough
do something.
intersection. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
And so I went out there, grabbed his hand and tried to calm him down until the cops got there. Then when they got there, I released him. Then the EMTs came and got him.
Yeah.
And the police went ahead of a statement from me. I didn't see anything. I just saw him laying there. So
Yeah.
by the time I got there, so
It's interesting because I had come from my workout at Waveney and I went to the UPS store, and as I was leaving, I saw the cop car go by me and I was like, well, you know what, he's going that way. Let me go the other way just in case, or else I would have.
Yeah, good thing you did. It's amazing though. Because it's a pretty busy road.
Yeah, it is a busy road.
And so I go out there and there's this guy laying in the middle of the street
Oh, jeez.
and his bicycle is laying there right beside him.
But the cop, when the cop
Well,
called.
these
police
people are
officer-
trying to get around him in the car.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm trying to flag him down. Where the hell are you going, man? The guy, I don't know if he's dead or not. You don't know either.
Yeah, but I got my yoga appointment.
And
Come on.
they're trying to drive around this guy, and the poor
God.
guy on the street away from,
Oh, God.
and I'm trying to stop the cars from coming
Yeah.
as I gotta hold this guy's hand there trying to comfort him. But it was,
That's
interesting
Yeah,
time.
well, it's a good thing, listen,
But still got here in time for HANRATTY'S huddle.
There you go. So you don't get fined this week, you get the fine for last week, and by the way, we get Rob, I think we can fit Rob in between the two of us.
Go sit on your shoulders.
So no, if we can get Terry on his own Zoom, then we'll have that nice picture thing. We'll work on that, but for now, we just wanted to get some video, let you know that we're working on some new things.
Trying something new.
We're trying something new, we're trying to do good, and we're trying to earn our keep and make the millions, or we're not making anything. But maybe someday. Fun, right?
A lot of info that should never die. That's
right.
For these old folks, we're bringing up a lot of the old stuff and the old stories, and we're gonna keep us going here.
That's right. Now, we need to preserve these stories. We need to have these stories told by people like Terry.
Because today, the ball players are pretty boring. They
Really
all
are,
have their briefcase.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Lambert walking around with a briefcase? No, that would never happen.
It carries teeth in it or something.
No, he put those in a locker. I know that.
Did you ride his teeth?
Oh, we'll get into that.
Okay, very good. Well, I think that's a good call for this show, unless you have something else in your mind.
I'm good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. This is HANRATTY'S Huddle with your host, this guy, Terry HANRATTY. I'm Dave Jeromeo. Have a good day, folks.